I'll leave it. Perfect. Thank you. No, I don't. Wait, wait, wait. Yeah, it threw me for a loop too. Believe me. Yeah, I didn't know where that came from.
Councilmember Harris?
I'm here.
Okay, we'll be starting in about 9 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, good. There you go. Perfect.
Actually have it.
Okay. I'll tell them. Yeah, I'll tell them so that they know you're gonna have it pulled up. Okay. Perfect. I'll let them know.
Supposed to be the hot shots. How you been? Good. I'm trying. Yeah, right. That's right.
Terrible. You know, I'm really excited to have my, basically the provisions of my job put on public program. That'll be thrilling. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. No, it's not your fault. Yeah, I saw it. Good evening and welcome to the May 19th, 2025 study session. Thank you all for coming. We're glad to highlight the achievements of many in our audience, and we're glad that you're part of Team Chandler as part of our community. We'll get to that in a few. First, let's have a roll call. City
Mayor
Clerk.
Harkey.
Here.
Mayor Harkey. Vice Mayor Ellis.
Present.
Councilmember Encinas.
Here.
Councilmember Poston.
Here.
Councilmember Orlando.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Hawkins. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Next part of our agenda tonight is scheduled public appearances. And Councilmember Poston, it's your time to join me. And unlike some of the other council members, Councilmember Poston has no proclamations to read tonight.
Oh, no. Very easy one for you.
First up on our agenda is recognition for our City Day sponsors. We could have Priscilla Quintana, Neighborhood Preservation Program Manager, come up and join us.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you may recall, earlier this year we celebrated our 14th annual For Our City Day in honor of Cesar Chavez. This year we adopted the Pamela traditional neighborhood with over 141 homes, many alleyways. On Saturday morning, March 29th, volunteers showed up as early as 6:30, where they tackled projects like painting homes, spreading gravel, cleaning alleyways, and we ended with a celebration in the park. This evening, we're here to recognize our sponsors, whom without them, this event would not be possible. We will kick off with our celebration sponsors. If we could please have our representative from Salvation Army, Captain Philippot and Lieutenant Philippot, please come up to the front.
And I know we're going to do individual photos, but if you could all move off to the right, and we'll do one big group photo with everyone as well.
If we could please have the banner, then ladies. Yeah, right in the middle there. We'll do a group photo with everyone. Get on in, ladies. Yes, please. The next one will get it right. There we go.
That's what I was gonna say. Where are you?
You did say
Scoot to my left, your right a little bit.
Let's balance it out.
One, two, three. Thank you.
Next up, we would also like to recognize Resurrection Street Ministry, Bill Berry, and his lovely wife to join us. Do you want to do, we'll do individuals and then we'll do a group one. Don't go too far.
Get Bill in the middle. Bill in the middle.
Those Army guys.
Thank you.
All right, ready? One, two, three. Yeah.
Next, we would like to recognize our street sponsors. These sponsors donated up to $1,000. For the first time, we have PCL, Tyler Richard. And Velocity, and I believe they were not able to join us this evening, but we will send their certificate. Next, we will recognize our block sponsors. Our block sponsors donated up to $8,000 towards this event. We have Viavi, who unfortunately was not able to join us today. Kim Beck from Home Depot. Red Canyon Supply, we have Arely Juarez. Pioneer Landscaping, we have Rick Edens. I know they are here. Compass Christian Church, Stephen Buckner and Sam Thomas.
Give it to Pastor. Let him swing it. Let the pastor swing it. All in.
Let's shift to the right one more time for me. Great, thank you. All right, one, two, three.
It's gonna go in the office. Congratulations.
Okay, and finally, we would like to recognize our neighborhood sponsors who donated up to $10,000 in kind or monetary donations towards this event. We will kick off with Waste Management, Victoria Ritchie. Not sure if she made it in. And then we have Connor Anderson from Sherwin-Williams.
We love sponsoring these events. So keep it going. We're so honored to do. Thank you so much.
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right, we're back to everybody now. All right, if you are identified as maybe
All the tall people
short.
in the back. All the tall people in the back.
I think I'm a back row guy with you. There we go. Okay. Can you see everybody?
Yes, you can see me, I can see you. All right, 1, 2, 3. That looks great. Thank you.
Oh, one more. There we go. Come back. Thank you.
Thank you.
For our next recognition, we're recognizing the Chandler Hot Shots. If we could have them come on up. We're excited to recognize you today. The Chandler Hot Shots are a 4-H shooting club that practices, competes, and develops youth age 8 to 19 years old. 5 Chandler athletes, Danae Bell, Jarrah Bell, Bailey Webster, Deja Bell, and Judah Bell were recently selected to compete in the Junior Olympics National Championships. And we are so proud of their accomplishments. Who can I turn this over to give us more clarification?
Speech.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having us. Um, yeah. Um, we've been really grateful for this team and the range that we shoot at Phoenix Rod and Gun Club. It's allowed us a place to practice every day whenever we want to, and it has electronic targets that emulate the same targets at national competitions like Junior Olympics, and we have been able to compete well because of that. And I personally have benefited from it because of the Ohio State University pistol team recruits at these national events. And I've been able to be recruited and I've been able to pay for college because of it. So I'm very grateful for the team and the range. Yeah.
I'm one of the younger sisters, and as Danae goes off to college, it's probably going to be my role to take over the team. So I just wanted to say that I'll probably be the one you see after Danae's gone. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the sport, and it's given me something to do. It's kind of actively too. And it's been a great team building experience too, especially being homeschooled and having the chance to socialize outside of the house with other shooters as well.
Thank you so much.
I want to share just a little bit about the event and recognize how amazing it is that 5 kids from Chandler were invited to the Junior Olympic National Championships. This event was by invitation only. 85, less than 85 kids were invited to compete in the air pistol. Less than 35 invited nationwide to compete in sport pistol. 5 kids from Chandler invited to that event. So, we had 2 shooters placed in the top 10, and that's not a small task when they're competing against 21-year-old and under athletes. It was a couple days in that we realized that the Olympic training team had members there competing against these kids. So, I want to recognize Danae. She was second in the nation in air pistol in winter nationals. She placed 7th in the nation in the finals at the Junior Olympic National Championships. Bailey over here. Bailey is my 16-year-old daughter. I'm pretty proud of her. She was 10th overall in sport pistol at the event, and this was the first time to go to a big national event. Judah here, 10 years old, and he was competing against 21 and under athletes, and he did incredibly well in his age class, 15 and under age class, and he beat out some athletes that were almost twice as old as he was. So that was pretty amazing. And then I'd be remiss to not thank our community supporters, like Phoenix Rod and Gun has been amazing to support our Chandler Hot Shots program and the Phoenix Rod and Gun Youth program, which is the track that takes these kids to the USA shooting and the Junior Olympics. They've been amazing at the support that they've given to us and our clubs. And then we've got First Interstate Bank, a Chandler business here that has helped to support. And then Shields from Chandler wanted to recognize the kids, and they've given a gift card for each kid for their participating and support. Thank you. Anyone else want to talk?
Well, sounds like an incredible team.
I just wanted to give a thank you to Eugene as well, because none of this would have been possible without his coaching, and it's meant a lot to us that he gives all his time and stuff to help us out.
Also, just real quick, the shooting sports is coming from Chandler Hot Shots. It's a big part of this, which is a 4-H club. So if you've had kids in 4-H, a lot of times they're doing horseback, they're showing goats at the fair, pigs, that kind of stuff. Shooting sports is new to 4-H in our area, Chandler. We started this club a year and a half ago. And so the accomplishments that are coming out of 4-H for the shooting sports is really only a year and a half old. That's how much time these kids have had to practice and perfect their skills. We do need some support that way. So if you're enthusiastic about 4-H and what it brings to the table for kids outside of internet activities, etc., we love your support going forward. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's get a photo. If we can, maybe if you're a little smaller, move in front of me. There we go. All right. She's going to move us to the left or to the right. We have maybe a couple of you move over here in this. There you go. Great. We good?
Can I have you two just take a step in? Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you all. Where's my handshakes? Come on now. All right. And next we have recognition, Read on Chandler. Joanne Floth can come on up and join us. I know Councilmember Orlando has been quite involved with Read on Chandler. We have an opportunity to highlight a great longstanding community partner, Read on Chandler. Read on Chandler is a collaborative of community organizations and businesses committed to ensuring that every child, birth through 5, obtains the necessary literacy and readiness skills to be successful in school and read by 3rd grade. So we're proud of all the effort that you guys continue to sacrificially give out of a passion and a purpose. Joanne, tell us more.
Thank you, Mayor Hartke and council members. Thank you so much. We're here to actually honor you tonight because of your participation in our VIP guest reader event in April. We had 100% participation from the council and mayor. Mayor actually, I think, was in 3 different schools. Councilmember Orlando, a couple schools. And I guess I'm here to say that if you ever quit your day jobs, you really should go into storytelling because you all did absolutely marvelous. And we thank you so much for your time and effort to children that yet. And so we know that you're dedicated to literacy. We know you're dedicated to growing future community members, and we just appreciate your time and effort. Just a little bit about our last 2 years. We had 25 VIP guest readers. We read to all of the 9 Title I schools in the Chandler Unified School District. We read to over 2,200 kindergartners and 1 first grade class. So that was a lot of kids that you all reached. And we were able to distribute 24,000 books to these kids so that they have a summer library. Part of our recognition is I'd like to introduce you to Ricardo Yancey, who is a Chandler children's author. He's here to present one of his books to each of you as a token of our appreciation. Richard, I'm going to turn it over to you and let us tell you a little bit, or have you tell us about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Joanne. Thank you so much. As she said, my name is Ricardo Yancey Jr., and I'm the author and illustrator of the children's picture book, My Best Friend Granny, which is about my great bond with my grandmother growing up in North Carolina in the 80s and 90s, or as my kids would probably say, the late 1900s. But it was my bond with my grandmother that was very special to me that made me put this book together. And it is my tribute to her. And I want to thank Joanne and the Read on Chandler program. I want to thank the Chandler Public Library, because they actually displayed my book in the Story Walk program at Desert Breeze Park, which was really cool for my kids to see and other kids around Chandler. And I'd like to thank Chandler Mall and the Barnes & Noble staff there. Ever since the very beginning, when I first launched this book, which was in 2023 on September 10th, on Grandparents' Day, which was a perfect day for this book, they have been amazing. So even though my journey didn't start here, it started in North Carolina, this book, its home is here in Chandler. So appreciate everybody. And also everything that's happening with the book. We decided to do a animated short film about the book, which we just launched a Kickstarter a couple of weeks ago. And everybody that has embraced this book, not just here in Arizona, but worldwide, has shown their support. And we would love to have your support too. And that could be just mentioning to your colleagues if you don't want to donate to the campaign, but whatever little bit helps for this book to be at your next Disney movie, the short that plays in front of it, or your Pixar film. So your support is much appreciated. But thank you.
And hopefully next year we will see you reading this book to kindergartners as well. So Richard, you want to go ahead and
absolutely
give each council member a book. And again, we just thank you for your time. We know you're busy people and you have lots of problems that you need to solve, but reading to our youngest children are some of the best things that we can do. So thank you very much.
Get ready for a photo.
Awesome.
Yeah, maybe we should offer.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Oh, that's even better.
There we go. You can stay right here. He's too big. He's too tall. He's too tall. I'll just sneak over here.
You have a voice of a storyteller.
Oh, thank
He
you.
does.
Thank you. I'm in the right business. Yeah.
Ready?
One more.
Thank you for all you do, Johnny. Thank you, sweetheart.
All right, and that
Make sure they leave
concludes
me a
our
book.
agenda out front. All right, Council, we had 2 items called in for consent, and then by our council rules, if anyone has questions for the item that Councilmember Harris put on the agenda, we can ask him that on Monday as well. Item number 6, first responder cancer screenings. I'd like to call up Chief Wiggins for a presentation. Is that correct? Oh, okay. Assistant Chief, yeah. Talk to us about first responder cancer screenings.
Happy to do so. Thank you, Mayor, Council. Thank you for the opportunity to come up here and speak to you tonight. Councilmember Poston, thank you for calling in this agenda item. I know how much this program means to you personally, as it does me. It's important to illustrate the scope of this issue to fully understand why cancer prevention is so important to Chandler firefighters. Cancer is now the leading cause of death for line of duty deaths for firefighters in the nation, which is astounding. In addition, firefighters are significantly higher risk of being diagnosed for cancer than the general public. For example, firefighters are 200% more likely to get testicular cancer or mesothelioma. They're 150% more likely to get multiple myeloma or non-Hodgkin's disease. They're 140% more likely to get skin cancer. Not only are these statistics concerning to our firefighters, but we have experienced cancer here much closer to home. In Chandler Fire's 88-year history, we have had 1 line of duty death, and that was due to cancer in 2018. Through the past 2 years of cancer screening, we have seen 95% participation from our members in year 1, and we're over 75% already this year. To date, we have identified 8 different cancers. 1 of those was serious, the other was life-threatening. Often with cancer, symptoms don't arise until the disease has progressed into the later stages of cancer development, which is why this early diagnosis and screening is so critical, because it directly improves survivability. From the financial perspective, given the state of Arizona's presumptive cancer laws, it is far more economically viable to fund screening services rather than cancer treatment. According to the World Health Organization, cancer screening is 2 to 4 times less expensive than cancer treatment. It's not only due to the duration of the treatment, but cancer, when found at early stages, presents a wider range of treatment that's less invasive and easier on the patient. It's also more economical. Screening is the most effective and economical way to reduce the impact of cancer to our firefighters, which is why this ongoing program and this contract in front of you is so supported and appreciated by our firefighters. Thank you to this council for your support, the city manager's office. This program moving forward, this next year will offer some services to our firefighters, such as low-dose lung CT scans, QT breast ultrasounds for our female firefighters, PFAS testing, and other important services. So again, thank you for your support, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Councilmember Poston.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. That was an excellent presentation. I think you answered almost every one of the questions that I had. So I really appreciate that. I was so glad to hear the participation rates because I know that was the question when we first approved this previously, and you all have done an excellent job of getting your firefighters in. And I know it sometimes is very difficult to get people in for that preventative screening. So I just encourage you and appreciate all the work that you have done encouraging those firefighters to get this testing done and anything that we can do to help. This is obviously very near and dear to my heart and want to continue to support the firefighters in our obligation to keeping you safe, keeping you healthy, and moving forward with this. So thank you for that presentation, and I'm very much in support of this.
Appreciate it. We share that same feeling of obligation. And so you guys know we do have the highest percentage of participation in any regional fire department right now. We have set the standard for the screening program and that participation. And that's a testament, I think, to the focus of the council and the city manager's office and our organization to say that this is important, and we've demonstrated that. So thank you again.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for calling this in because I think that from the time it came out that we were going to do this pilot program, I called it in every single year just because I wanted the people of Chandler to have an idea what we are doing in that department and how we're preventing. As a first responder, I couldn't be so thrilled to see that we are making an impact into their lives. And for those who are not really late term, they don't understand the type of cancer that we're screening for here. These are major cancers that if they go undetected, that they could just stand up and then drop dead like that. And then we will know what happened until afterhand. But having been able to put ourselves in the gap for prevention, I think that's what's really giving us this highest level of interaction where we can stop these things into their tracks. So thank you again for saying yes to this. And I know that we're still calling it a pilot, but I don't think it's going to continue to be a pilot. So really appreciate you.
Appreciate your support. Absolutely. We're happy to come up here and talk about this program, what we're able to do for each other.
Yeah, thank you.
Additional questions or comments from council? Seeing none. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Next item, item number 19, also called by Councilmember Poston, a presentation on the contracts and agreements administratively approved related to the community garden at 190 South Dakota Street. Kim.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. The community garden, as Mayor mentioned, is at 190 South Dakota Street, which is at the northwest corner of Dakota Street in Chicago. The city purchased this property in 2008 and later leased it to Harvest for Humanities for a period of 10 years to be used as a community garden. They grew produce for Ascend, partnered with schools, and allowed community members to grow fruits and vegetables. Since that time, cultural development and neighborhood resources have worked together to reinvigorate the garden. We've researched other successful gardens throughout the metro area and engaged the Pueblo Viejo neighborhood at the first Cesar Chavez event. We showcased a variety of concepts for the neighborhood to consider, including activating the community garden with new garden beds, lighting, places to read and relax, programming, and classes. In December, City Council approved Resolution 5855, reallocating CDBG funds to assist with the design and construction of the garden. The design is being completed by J2 Design and is anticipated to complete in early fall. We'll continue the neighborhood outreach as we move through the design process. We are currently working to develop the operational structure of the garden that will include safety components, uses of the garden, partnerships, and neighborhood programming. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Councilmember Poston.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Kim. I just wanted to bring this up because I think this is going to be such a gem for a community. This is really going to be something that will be wonderful. And sometimes our items administratively approved don't always get the attention. Yeah. So thank you for that. I do know that community gardens can be very difficult to maintain. So I'm glad to hear that you are out there looking at successful programs. Will residents be able to have their own plot? Will it be sort of a shared? How are you anticipating that it might work?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Poston, that is part of the operational things that we're working through. But for certain, it will be the neighborhood that will be able to engage in these beds. We've had an outcry from people in the downtown area that are interested in participating. But we also want to activate it in unique and different ways too. We've talked with the libraries about maybe doing classes. We've talked to neighborhood resources about bringing program, teaching healthy food options and those type of things. So we're really working cohesively together to bring some strong programming to the garden.
Okay, that's wonderful. And as somebody who grew up with fresh vegetables and a fresh garden, but I'm a terrible gardener myself, I really appreciate everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
But food is so foundational, and we're bringing it right to people to grow their own, and hopefully we can change some kids' ideas about vegetables.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you're doing, and it sounds like you're really taking a nice holistic approach. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mayor.
Additional questions? Councilmember Encinas.
Kim, you mentioned that you're reaching out to other communities that have these gardens.
Mhm.
What are some successes that they're having that would help this garden be successful this time around?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Encinas, that's a great question. We've actually taken a tour to one in Fountain Hills that is extremely popular. And first and foremost, it's an advocate. It's somebody who's there to help, that's there on a regular basis to help grow a garden, to know how to use it, how to put the soil in, what kind of vegetables to grow, and it's programming it. It is programming it, keeping it active, a place that feels safe and inviting and very much of a neighborhood feel. And so those are all the elements that we'll try to bring to this garden as well.
No further questions.
Yeah. And I wanted to actually thank Councilmember Encinas for a year ago when we had Cesar Chavez Day. We actually started with a work project at the community gardens, cleaning it up and kind of doing some rehab there. And thank you for your work in making that happen.
That goes out to neighborhood resources.
I think some of them are in the room.
Any additional questions? Seeing none. Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
And then lastly, item number 18 is actually on action, but under our council rules and procedures, I'll read a little script. Any member or members of council may submit an item to the council agendas prior to 5 p.m. on Wednesday, the prior week, at which the item will be considered. The requested item shall appear on Monday's study session agenda for discussion, followed by Thursday regular meeting for further discussion or possible action. If an ordinance or resolution is requested or required to enact the item, the direction may be given to City Council majority at Thursday regular meeting to have the city staff draft such a document. The ordinance or resolution will then be placed on a future council agenda consideration. So, Councilmember Harris, I just wanted to just briefly tell us what your goal was with this. And I had one question. Was this concurrent with contractual reviews, or when were you thinking to implement this?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to ask that question. This is separate of how we're going to move forward with our contract agreements. I'm bringing this item forward because of the fact that I wanted to make sure that we stay in full merit, transparency, and accountability for our direct hires. And I wanted to make sure that we had a written review that we could measure these principles like merit, for instance, which helps us stay focused on the importance of their qualifications and skills in performing. And we can give raises based on their merit performance, and then also transparency so the public knows why we're making these decisions and how we're coming to the decisions that we're making. And then just in terms of accountability, we have great staff. They do a great job for us. And so I just want to make sure that the accountability is still there when and after year after year to make sure that that's there. So that's kind of why I'm bringing it forth. And I wanted to bring something that can help council measure their performances, and that will help us determine raises and everything else if there is any deemed.
So when you mentioned raises, So again, this sounds like upon contract review, is that your intention to bring then?
Yeah, I wanted to have something more written when we decide how we are evaluating. I wanted something more written so we can determine how we evaluate our direct hires, which is our 4 direct hires. I wanted to make sure that each council member was on the same page in terms of what that evaluation looked like, and the public is aware of what we're measuring each direct hire on, and they also know as staff how we're measuring them as well.
Okay, so before the contract, that staff would receive these, fill them out, council would have access to them, and that would be part of the evaluation, is what I'm hearing you saying.
And vice versa as well. We can look at it from our perspective as well. But yes, the staff would have something to fill out to see how they measured up against this, and then we also will have something ourselves to measure up to make the determinations as well, so we're all on the same page.
Okay,
And
thank you.
Yeah.
Council, additional questions?
Mayor?
Councilmember Orlando.
So thank you, Councilmember Harris, for bringing this forward. We used to do a written review of all 4 of our individuals. For some reason that dropped. I wasn't there. I know the International Contract Management Association strongly recommends that councils do a written review. So if the council's desire to move and do more investigation on what it would look, I'm okay with that. I just think it's something that we do in industry. We do it in even our own current policies. So I think you could do it numerous ways. HR could do it. You have a third party. There's a myriad of ways we could do this. International Contract Manager even has a couple of examples of how you could potentially do this as a council. So anyway, I'm okay if we want to move forward and do some more due diligence and look at this from a different perspective. So,
thank you. Any other additional comments, questions?
Yeah.
Councilmember Poston.
To clarify, are we talking about the International City Managers Association?
whatever, yeah,
Okay.
something like that. Whatever
Okay.
whatever guiding items that you guys have.
Guiding items that the city follows. I don't have a problem with this. I think that's pretty much standing operating procedure, is to have reviews of city staff. And, these are our executive city staff. And I think, we hold them to the same standard. We hold all of our staff. And that's a pretty standard operating procedure in the corporate world. And I don't see a problem with having it in government as well.
All right. Seeing no additional comments and nothing else has been called in, thank you all for joining us tonight. That concludes our study session, and we'll be Councilmember Orlando.
So I guess the question is, do we have some ideas to bring forward on Thursday if we're going to vote on this, or that's normally what we do?
On Thursday, we will be voting whether to do it, to then bring it to the staff to then come up with so they're not going to bring us a product on Thursday. This is just to decide by what I just read is if council wants to proceed on this, and then we will direct them to give us something to get back to. Is that correct, my understanding? Yeah. Great. All right, thank you all. See you Thursday.